Can you share a few of the like your favorite healing stories? Or, I know that the EES is not healing us, but examples of people who have used the technology, put in the hours, and the shifts in their health, like a couple of your favorite stories.
Yeah. My favorite ones have to do with dogs
Ah,
because number one, I love animals, and number two, you just can't make that up. You
yeah.
can't make it up. And I've seen it across the board. That was this one dog here in New York. I forgot his name, but I have the video. It's actually on UNIFYDhealing.com. When you go to the testimonial section, you can watch, there are hundreds and thousands of videos of real people sharing their testimonials who sent them in organically, authentically on whatever phone they recorded on. But there was this one dog, and he had this problem. It was a very long name, the name of the disease, but I know that it was incurable. A problem with his two hind legs where he couldn't really walk. He was kind of dragging himself. Doctor said it was incurable, can't do anything about it. It is what it is. He spent, I believe it was 10 hours in the Mount Kisco location. Now it's somewhere near Mount Kisco because she moved locations, but here in New York. And within like a month, he didn't change his diet. They didn't, start doing all these protocols. He just went and he left. And that was one of my favorites because something that was incurable, the dog is running and in great shape right now. So
Wow.
that's definitely one of them. One of the funnier ones is I was watching a video. It's also on UNIFYDhealing.com on one of the testimonials. There was a veteran. He's like 80 something years old. And I swear these are the words that came into his mouth, out of his mouth. He's like, I can have an erection again. He's like, I
Oh
don't need to
man,
use
I'm over here
Viagra anymore.
pausing the podcast and writing down unified
That
healing.
was good. That was one of my favorite ones.
That's
Where it was just
amazing.
funny, but there are people with stage 4 of certain ailments, and they're stable now, and they're in remission, and they're gone, and their doctors don't know what to say. They don't know what to say. There was another guy that I just shared on the last video I did with testimonials on my YouTube channel. He had diabetes, and he was 100 and something pounds overweight. And he was using the technology for a year at his nearest center. I believe he was doing 2 hours a week for 52 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. 52 weeks later, he reported he lost over 100 pounds, no longer has diabetes.
Wow, it's amazing.
So cool stuff.
And you touched a little bit upon like nonverbal autistic children and how
Correct.
there's some remarkable reversals, and like one kid just went up to the screens and just like put his forehead on the screens, and then
But
another
that
girl.
that's something you got to ask Dr. Sandy, where's
Okay,
Michael?
okay.
She had
Yeah.
those experiences herself, and I want to save that story for her because we
Okay.
are children that are nonverbal that are able to, start reciting their ABCs, which is a big deal for children like that.
Yeah.
It changes a lot.
It changes the whole family dynamic and just
Oh
like
yeah,
allows them to exhale.
big
So
time.
cool. How did you said kind of in passing that you left the family business, this like real estate um, business, and you were expected to take it over. I mean, that takes a lot of courage to break away from the family expectation and perhaps kind of financial security, et cetera. How did you have like a spiritual awakening? What led you to kind of want to follow this path?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely had an awakening, if you want to call it that. Let go of all my friends, started reading a bunch of books, and just changed everything around me. Because again, like number one, I'm young now, and I was definitely young then. And I was living my life like every other kid my age. I was 15, 16, 17, 18, going out, partying, doing all those things. And there just came a point where well, it actually happened with a series of injuries that came my way that caused me to see certain things. I was in the hospital on and off for 4 years, dislocated my left shoulder 23 times. I got 3 shoulder surgeries. I almost needed a mechanical shoulder by age 18. And I got a staph infection in my leg that almost caused it to have to be amputated, and it almost caused me to die. So the combination of all those things kind of caused me to say, okay, what's going on here? What do I need to look at? And not why is this happening to me, but how is this happening for me? And that's when I started seeing a change in things need to be done differently. And I was working in the family business for 5 years, and I got up to vice president, and I was about to take over completely. But I really, the money was great. I didn't care about it. I didn't care about it because okay, so now you're a billionaire. Now what? Like, what are you doing? What do you like? You're going to Hawaii? You have a yacht? What are you actually doing? How are you being with everybody else? So I guess in short, it didn't really fulfill me because yes, the money's good, great, all great, but that's not kind of where it ends for me. Money's a great thing, right? Yeah, I believe in being comfortable and like not living in poverty. Definitely be comfortable, take care of yourself and do what you got to do, but take care of yourself so you can also take care of others. So I don't know, buying and selling buildings didn't really do it for me, and I just didn't care much. So I made that hard decision. I had faith that we could grow this into something really big that ultimately would allow for people to be able to live better lives as well. So listen, it's that one decision that it changed a lot of people's lives.
It's amazing. It's really incredible. Can people still open EES system center?
Yeah. Yeah. So if somebody wants to open up a center with an energy enhancement system, they can go to our website at UNIFYDhealing.com. If anybody wants to buy things like medallions, I always have it in front of me over here. This goes out a few feet as well. This is one of their technologies, and they basically embed a piece of the technology, the scalar field, into different stones. So if anybody wants to get their products, whether it's they call these medallions, whether it's bracelets, or whether it's a system for their own home, they can do that at eesystem.com. But yes, to answer your question, there are people opening every day. UNIFYDhealing.com is where you can apply. There is a vetting process. We don't approve everybody. We don't want people who are only business people. We want people who know how to run a business and want to do things the right way. And if you can fit certain criteria, we approve you. You get the technology. You open up your center. God bless you. And I do the work of bringing awareness and people to the center.
Thank you for listening to the Heal with Kelly podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. And make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. Oh, and if you found this episode inspiring, please rate, review, and share Heal with Kelly so that we can grow our audience and reach more people. We truly appreciate it. Lots of love.